Welcome everyone, Adam the Woo here. As the recording of this, it is Saturday, July 5th, 2025. This is a historic occasion because this will be my first day in my very first international Disney park ever, Disneyland Paris. And I'm wearing an appropriate t-shirt and I'm inviting you to join me. I don't know what I'm about to get myself into. Shall you? First visited Disney World in the late 70s, so my mom and my dad took myself on vacation there, and then we continued to visit through the 80s, and then in 1991 moved to Central Florida, fell in love with Disney MGM Studios, the Michael Eisner era. That was my favorite Disney era. Now, a lot of people do not agree with that, but that is my era growing up with Disney. So I have a soft spot for the Eisner era. Became an annual pass holder at Disney World in 2001, and pretty consistently, with the exception of a couple of years, have been an annual pass holder since the 01-02 days, and got my first annual pass at Disneyland in Anaheim in 2015, and very consistently, with the exception of about a year or so, have been a pass holder out there. When they removed the annual passes and the park was closed, obviously that couldn't happen. But I have never been inside Disneyland Paris before. This is the first time this will ever happen, being able to go inside there. Michael Eisner's park, a lot of Tony Baxter's little footnotes and dedication to his craft are in here as well. And I'm going to be going on some attractions, some rides, experiencing the sights, the sounds, the smells, the vibes of Euro Disney, formerly Euro Disney. Well, they do have Casey's Corner here. And look, they do call it Main Street USA, even though it's in France. And I'm not a guide map kind of guy, but I do not know any layout of this place, so guide map for the win today. Euro Disneyland Railroad. They have the old school Eisner name up there. Very nice. Oh, I gotta do the train. They got Gibson Girl. And it appears as if I am walking in right around 11:30. Well, it's a little after 11, but they are getting ready to do a parade right now. Parade is happening at the moment. And again, I am not really familiar with anything that is happening in here. I don't know the names of the parades. I don't know the names of the shows. I'm only familiar with the U.S. parks and those rides and attractions, and I'm sure it's pretty much consistent with those, but it's going to have a little twist on it. Also, from what I was reading, this is the only park that is still 100% owned by Disney, where the other international parks just have their hand and their foot and their toe dipped in the water, where this place is 100% full-on Disney owned, just like the U.S. parks. My goodness, what weird world have I stepped into? I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone right now. You got the Churro Rock, similar to the former French Fry Rocks at Disneyland. Over here, what I thought was Tomorrowland, but in fact, there is no Tomorrowland. It is Discoveryland here. So you got the lands. You got Discoveryland, you got Fantasyland up there, you got Frontierland, you got Adventureland, and my first attraction is going to be what Tony Baxter called the best Big Thunder Mountain in existence. He's the one that created it. He says it's the best. I best remove him. That's going to be the first attraction right there in the middle, the Rivers of America. Oh yeah, I'm ready. I'm so ready. To be completely honest, my first impression walking in here, my mind is blown. It is like, it's like I know it, but I don't know it. A wave of emotions overcame me as I was walking down Main Street. Oh my goodness. I can't believe I'm here. It's like unexplainable how bizarre this feels to me. So I purchased something on top of my ticket called Premier Access Unlimited, and there are a few attractions that are included, and what that means is I can go on any of these one time. It's not an unlimited amount of times on the attractions, but I do not have to wait. It is an extra fee, so I went ahead and paid it. But I can go on any of these attractions without waiting. Some attractions are not included, but all of these are. Look at this. Temple Apparel, that looks like an indie, that's the indie ride from the second film. Temple of Doom. Right, the mine ride? Peter Pan's Flight is on the Fast Pass. Small World. Yes, remove them. Phantom Manor, that is their version of Haunted Mansion. Definitely gonna do that. I'm gonna walk over to Frontierland, but first, I gotta go check out this castle now that the crowds have dissipated just a little bit. Now keep in mind, I'm not doing everything here at this park today. I'm doing key things, my first experience. I'm here for more than one day, and I'm also not going over to the other park today. This is just gonna be my first impressions. The main things I wanna do are Phantom Manor and Big Thunder, and just kind of peruse around, and I'll do everything that's on the Fast Pass. I'm just gonna soak it in. I'm just gonna soak it in. I'm really having a hard time wrapping my head around the fact that I am here at this moment. This is an impressive castle, also, I must say. Oh, got a second level up here. There's a second level with the stained glass. Look at that. Oh, you can walk up there. That's like their version of the Corridor of Goons. Oh, there's a staircase and you can walk up there. Oh, this is so awesome. I had no idea this was up here. Now, I've heard there's a dragon underneath the castle, but I had no idea there was all this area up here. Oh, yeah. Why do I love this so much? Look at that. There's the Maleficent, the dragon. Wow. And that tapestry right there. Okay, this is a good start. This is a good start right here. Now, I watched the Imagineering story on Disney Plus a few years ago, and if I remember correctly, these stained glass windows were done by the same guy who did the stained glass at the cathedral, Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris. If I remember that correctly, one of the ones that did some of the newly revamped stained glass there. Love the trees through here. Gosh. Got Maleficent here. So good. So good. I'm a nerd. Shout out to the Corridor of Goons. Yes. This always gave me nightmares. Every time I'd see in a photo or seeing a spinning wheel, seeing the film, I knew that this was like the evil contraption that never want to prick your finger on this thing. Don't do it. It'll put you into a slumber. I guess that's a good way to fall asleep, though. It's wild. You can stand up here and overlook down into Fantasyland as well. And the Sword in the Stone is here, not over by the carousel. Heard the stories about this. And now, it's my time. I noticed when going down Main Street in front of the castle, I did not see a partner statue here. There's one here for sale for 349 euros or 99 euros, but I did not see this in the park yet. Maybe I'm not looking in the right spot, but it's not in front of the castle like I'm used to in the US. Right, they have Snow White, a Scary Adventures type of Snow White possibly, and just like Anaheim, right next to it is Pinocchio over here. They have a Pinocchio dark ride. That's awesome. Set up like Disneyland's Fantasyland in Anaheim. Sir Mickey's, though, is where Toad would be. Carousel's in the same spot. You got Pinocchio over here, Snow White, the castle. So all that's kind of the same. There are a few things that are different. Like Dumbo is kind of over in this area. And Peter Pan's flight is way over here. But I definitely like this setup of Fantasyland a little bit better, kind of like modeled after Anaheim's version than the hunk of crap we have at Walt Disney World's Fantasyland. The Goofy hat here, we got a little Ratatouille cap. But take a look at this. I haven't seen this in the US parks here. It's like a black and white Mickey cap right there. That's kind of neat. I haven't seen that before. I've seen the Donald, and I've seen the Goofy, and I've seen the Mickey and the Minnies and all that. But I don't know if I've seen the Ratatouille, and I for sure haven't seen this unless they've just brought them to the States since the last time I went to the parks there. This is seriously based on the Anaheim park for sure. I mean, look at this. It's like Walt's original Magic Kingdom with elbow room. I am having serious sensory overload right now. Is this Captain Hook's ship right here? It's a pirate ship. Is that Hooked? Oh, Skull Rock. Yes. What is this? What is this? Yeah. So far, my thoughts on this place rules. I mean, it takes everything that Disney, well, not everything, but it takes a good percentage of what the original Disneyland has in SoCal and expands upon it just a little bit. I mean, it doesn't, you know, Walt was never here, but you get what I'm saying. And look at all this elbow room. Look at all this walk. Look at, why do I sound like Seinfeld saying that? No way. Big Thunder Mountain Railroad Paris edition. And look over there, their version of the mansion, Mantum Mortar. And as much as you want to emulate the Mary Poppins film, please do not feed the birds, even if they are only tuppence a bag. Look at this. It's completely surrounded by the rivers. I don't know if it's called the Rivers of America, but there is a moat river around it. Morton Manor off in the distance. And of course you got Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. Oh, it's happening. Can I just say that my mind right now is like, cannot comprehend what the heck is happening right now. Ugh. Their Frontierland is really good. Really good. I love this place. It'll have a shooting gallery here, has not been butchered for a DVC lounge. Really great theming through here. Even have Rose's blacksmith shop over here. Big Thunder photographer? Oh, you can get a photo of your ride on Big Thunder. They fully embrace the Big Thunderness here. Thanks to Tony Baxter, obviously. I think his quote was, the fourth time's a charm. I think that was it. I think this was the fourth Big Thunder. Could have been the third time's a charm. This will be the third Big Thunder that I have been on. Look at this bad boy. Ooh, what's that? It's a little busy here. That is the standby queue. One of the fast passes, not called fast pass, it's called something else that I can use is on this attraction. It's not good for every attraction, but it is good for some of the ones I want to do. Oh, I've been patient. I've been too patient to go on this, and it is happening. See, this guy's clapping. Hopefully I can get the back row. I always like the back row on Big Thunder, so not sure if they take requests here, but I'm going to ask for the back row. Premier Access, that's what it's called. I haven't heard of best remove them here. They might not best remove them here. I have asked for the back row and was granted the back row. Number 15. Oh, I'm excited about this. I am so stoked. Awesome. This thing rattles a whole heck of a lot more than the ones I'm used to. The track might be a little rougher. Although they said remove House of Glasses, but they said it differently. There's also no pouch here to put your stuff in, so you just got to hold on to everything. You best remove them. France style. Uh-oh. that's different. That's different. Right out the bat, right out the gate, a drop. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, good God. That's what's up. That looks awesome. More to manner. I got wet. This is more like a traditional wooden coaster style. Look over here. This is like riding an old school wooden coaster. The track is way more vicious. There we go. Where's the goat? No goat. There's no goat. I'm on an island. Yes, go, 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 go. The dynamite. Let's go. Just happened. My God, that was good. Oh, that was good. Oh, not disappointed at all.
Howdy, folks.
Dude, that was good. That was amazing. What the heck just happened? That was the best Big Thunder I've ever been on in my life. It was like a religious experience. Unbelievable. That was so good. So good. Had all the elements I like, but they were enhanced. Seemed like there was more hairpin turns. There was more of an element of danger, more drops, more elevation, more speed in certain parts, probably when you went underneath the water, in and out from underneath the tube that goes underneath the water. And it felt like more like a coaster than the other two. Now the other ones are coasters, but this one felt more old school wooden style track coaster that you'd see at like a janky amusement park mixed with the beauty of the theming that only Disney can provide. The perfect mix of two melded into one. Shout out to Tony Baxter. This is good. I am losing my mind here. They have a riverboat here? I don't know if their riverboat does shave and a haircut 2 bits along with the train. Oh, I am really loving this wild, wacky, weird place. All right, now that I've knocked the first attraction out, it's time for a little spookiness in the daylight. I like this. Doesn't say Haunted Mansion, it says Phantom Manor right there. It's their version of the Haunted Mansion. Again, I don't really know what I'm in store with this. I've only seen some photos. I've heard people talking about it. Never watched a ride through. I I don't know what to expect, but it's happening. Into the portrait gallery over here now. Walking through. Look at that. Ooh, that's good. That's really good. Is that the bride up there? Yeah, that's the bride at the end of the portrait gallery. Yeah, this queue is definitely way different. Who is that up there? Is that the bride up there, or is that the Phantom? I'm so confused. I was under the impression that the entire attraction was going to be completely different than the Haunted Mansions that I am used to over in New Orleans Square. Obviously, Disneyland, then the end of Frontierland, next to the start of Fantasyland at Walt Disney World. But to be completely honest, the beginning portions were pretty much the same with their own weird little twists. And I thought, oh, this is going to basically be a more kind of almost like a little more evil and twisted version on the mansion. Not the Haunted Mansion's already twisted in its own way, but it was just little nuances that were different for France. And then out of nowhere, as I thought I was going basically past the ballroom scene and into the attic, that's where everything completely changed. The attic scene was completely different, threw me for a loop. Did not expect the attic scene to be in that way. And then you kind of go down this little like corridor of like, you know, this little tunnel, if you will, dark tunnel of all kind of like interesting creatures and skeletons. They have the singing bus. I did not see any hitchhiking ghosts, however. Didn't see those, but I did see the singing bus. And it was really got scary, almost like a more horrifying version of the Haunted Mansion, which is kind of nice. You start off with that first half is like the OG style, and then it takes a really hard, horrific turn towards the end. I gotta say, pleasantly surprised. In my mind, and what I had heard from others just in conversation over the years, that it was nothing like the mansion, but that's not true because the first half is pretty much like the original mansions. But this thing has taken its own element, its own style, and it almost reminds me of like a Horror Nights type of thing. It's towards the end with animatronics, and then it goes into like a Western set and all that. Man, that was good. I'm 2 for 2 so far with my impressiveness. Mortem Manor. I hope they have like a t-shirt or something, because I would love to get like a magnet, a t-shirt or something for this. So far, Disneyland Paris, former Euro Disney, you are 2 for 2. You are 2 for 2. Very impressed, very impressed. You know, every time I've watched Indiana Jones and Temple of Doom and I see the minecart scene, I always think of how that would make such a great attraction. And there is one. I didn't realize until recently that they even had one over here. I was reminded when walking in today and looking at the map. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Peril. Just like Temple of Doom, it's like the minecart part of Temple of Doom, the second indie film, the wild, wacky indie film. It wedged in between Last Crusade and Raiders. I'm doing this. This is reality right now. That's what's so bizarre about this. This is a real thing. They have a single rider line also. I have the deal where I don't have to wait in a standby, but there's a single ride. They might not let me film on this either. They probably won't let me film on this, but we'll see what happens. All right, this has a 360 loop, sudden drops and stops. This is a thing of beauty right here. Definitely different than the Indy ride in Anaheim. I don't know what that alarm is. Somebody's phone. Somebody's ringtone. About Pirates, and he said Pirates was down for refurb right now, so I've heard good things about Pirates here, but Not gonna be able to do Pirates of the Caribbean this trip. It's so wild. There are no bags. There's nowhere to put your stuff. You just gotta hold it in your pockets or hold it in your hand. You can definitely lose some things on this very easily. I do not know what's gonna happen. Oh, is this a drop? Holy crap. Oh no. Oh God. Oh. Oh. I don't want to do the loop, truthfully. Oh, good Lord. Ah. That was the loop. Oh, that was the loop. Oh. So worried I was going to drop everything. I can't believe they don't have any like bags. They don't have any pouches. I was like gripping my elbow onto my pocket to make sure my phone and my wallet didn't fall out. And then I was holding onto this. Just like that. Pop over here into Tobias Norton and Sons, the mercantile, the Frontier Traders. See what kind of merchandise they have. We have a Big Thunder Mountain wooden train and a gold nugget right here. I've never seen these before. That's cool. And Phantom Manor merchandise as well. I may have called it Mortem Manor because Mortem Manor is the haunted old town. Because sometimes he'd say Manor, sometimes I'll say Mortem. So if I mispronounced it and said Mortem Manor, I meant to say Phantom Manor. Phantom, there's Leota. Phantom Manor right there. Loving all the Big Thunder merch though. Look at all the Big Thunder merch they have through here. You even got, look at this, you even got a Big Thunder Spirit jersey right over here. I love that. Exiting out of Frontierland, this is kind of like their Fort Langhorne. Yeah, this is very Fort Langhornish going back over to Main Street, USA, just crossing through here. You can't climb up there. They got the walls up, so you can't go up. Oh, it's called Legends of the Wild West. So not Fort Langhorne, but that's what it's kind of giving me the vibes of, but they haven't blocked off. They probably should walk over, at least show the facade of Pirates of the Caribbean, even though it's down for refurb. They even got the wall up and everything. I heard good things about the Pirates here, but maybe another time. Not this trip. Oh, no way. They have Toad Hall here as well. There is J. Thaddeus. This is not an attraction. It's a restaurant, but it looks as if right on the door there, it says closed. I got really excited for a minute thinking that this was the ride or the attraction, and then I was like, oh, it's a restaurant, maybe I'll get a bite to eat inside Toad Hall. But it is closed at the moment. But right there, yeah, it's not the ride, not the attraction, but it is Toad Hall. They do have Toad Hall here in France, here in Paris. That is so dang cool. I don't see Mr. Toad over there inside the window like he would be at Disneyland though, but still pretty cool they have this. It looks as if Peter Pan's flight is currently down at the moment. They are telling people going in the premiere line that it's down and come back later, so I'll find something else and come back over. All right, now into the Curious Labyrinth. We go inside this hedge maze labyrinth right here, themed after Alice in Wonderland. Going into the darkness now. First of all, I'm starting off by going into the darkness. They got the jumping water fountains through here. Look at the water jumping. Oh, I see the Cheshire Cat over there, or the Cheshire Cat. Yeah, it's pretty neat. It's like a floral display here of the Cheshire Cat. You know what? I think I can go up to the top of this castle here. Yeah, made it up to the tippy top. Oh, is there canal boats over there, maybe? Maybe got a windmill right here, overlooking this portion of Fantasyland. Mr. Toad Hall. Ooh, so this is what I had to walk through to get over to the entrance right here. Kind of showcases it. Oh, look. There she is. She's like yelling down in there. A really neat little overlook from the top of the castle. There's like so many cool experiences here that are different than the other parks, which I really like. It's definitely a unique perspective from up here. And you can see how busy it is over there. You got Small World over in the distance. You got the castle right there. You got Pinocchio over there, Snow White. You got Peter Pan over in the distance. You got Toad Hall right there. That's the thing, that might be the train station right there. I gotta do a train as well. But this showcases the whole maze. It's a pretty expansive, confusing maze. If you take the wrong way, you get backtracked, you gotta turn around. So make sure you choose the right path. All right, I'm about to now cruise over the rooftops of London. I am on number 2 because this is very interesting how the ride is set up over here. A two-row seater on Peter Pan's flight. That is highly unusual, and I like it. It makes the wait time a little bit quicker, in my opinion. I'm going to fly over the rooftops of London. All in all, pretty standard to the other two. There's a few slight differences, including there was a couple scenes that weren't in it. Like I didn't see the mermaid section, but you definitely fly over the city of London. And I was recently in London, so it's kind of neat to always go on Peter Pan, even though I'm in a different country. So I'm in France, but over in England is where the Peter Pan story was based, as they're flying over to get to see all of that. And on the way out, it's kind of interesting too, where you're kind of like exiting out towards the very, very end, and that's when you see the mermaids at the very, very end, at the exit of the ride itself. And I really like the fact that you can fit up to 4 people on the pirate ship, the flying pirate ship, where the other 2 parks I've been to, you can only get 2, and sometimes that makes for a longer wait time. I think that probably speeds up the wait time dramatically. I mean, I didn't get in the standby line, but if you could fit more people on an attraction or a ride vehicle, it just seems to me that it's going to flow a little quicker. So I think they got it figured out here as far as loading more people on the attraction, on the pirate ship. You get 4 instead of the most at 2. And if you're 1 person on the 2-person pirate ship, they're only going to load 1 person, so it really slows the ride down. So it worked out pretty well. Head over to Small World, which is over there, but there's also the teacups. Check out this unique top to the teacup area over here. It's like half indoor, half outdoor. And then you got the waterfalls and all that. I'm not going to do everything today. In fact, I'm going to be on property going to the parks for the next few days. So anything I'm not covering today, I can cover other days. I'm just kind of focusing on a few key things, and then also the Premier Access stuff that I paid for. The other days I might not do the Premier Access, so I'm trying to knock all those out today, just get my first vibe. So I'm going to be here more than just today, so stay tuned. It's kind of half indoors, half outdoors, so the queue dumps into an indoor section, well, an enclosed section, and that's where you board the boat, and then they have the outdoor section over there. So it's kind of a merging of both the parks I'm used to, where it's like the indoor exterior, and then the outdoor exterior, and then the indoor loading platform. This is what the boarding system looks like here. You got the 2 lines that dump into one. And I'm going to cruise my way through all the different countries, all the different people of the world, singing the jingle, "It's a small world after all." This is only the 3rd Small World attraction I've ever been on. This started at the World's Fair in New York back in the day, pre-Disneyland, and one of the first ideas that Walt had. Walt did not have it on opening day at Disneyland in '55. In fact, it was one of, if not the last, it was one of the last attractions as he was able to kind of kick off, if you will, and show up to the opening of, if I remember correctly, Walt was there. So this was like a very special, attraction for Walt in his heart and his mind, something he really wanted to put upon to the world. It was like a good message. Sherman Brothers did the jingle. Richard and Robert Sherman, one of the 2 classic songwriters, they also did a variety of other things like Tiki Room and all the music for Mary Poppins. It's one of those songs that's hard to get out of your head. That's why I'm kind of doing the voicing over. Well, one of the many reasons too, because you're not allowed to have it in, but doing the voiceover of the attraction of It's a Small World. The third Small World I've been on, coast to coast, and then also country to country. To be completely honest, I really enjoy this version of it. It was definitely not a cookie cutter cut and paste of the other 2 that I've been on. Now, they do have a lot of the different characters and a lot of the iconic pieces that you would see on the original one and then also the one at Disney World. Those are the only twos I've been on, so the only ones I can compare to. But they also have some things I was not expecting as I cruise through. The set pieces seem a lot cleaner and bigger. The show floor where the roof kind of seems a little bit taller with more items. I don't know, maybe, I didn't have like a tape measure to kind of measure it, but it definitely seems like there's the bigger set pieces behind the characters as you're kind of going through. And I was really not expecting at the very end, there was a section for Hollywood. I did not see that coming, that they would have an entire section devoted to Hollywood, which kind of made me happy as well, just seeing the Hollywood kind of going through there. So yeah, Small World was definitely not a disappointment. I halfway went through thinking that it was just going to be a cut and paste of the other two, but it really wasn't. It really had its own thing going on, and would go on it again. And I highly recommend, if you ever come to this park, to go through it. It definitely has its own twist on the classic, but kept the basics, kept the basics dialed in, but also had its own twist on it. Why are the troopers just walking through this little like area here with just foliage, like through the woods? They're not even in a Star Wars area or anything. They're just like, the troopers are just walking along this pathway over to Discovery Land. That was off. I was not expecting that. And there are smoking areas here. Tomorrowland here is called Discovery Land. And here's a throwback to the early 80s Eisner era, even though this park opened in 92. Videopolis. There's still a sign here for the old Videopolis. I don't think they still do the nighttime show, but that was a big thing back in the 80s. Videopolis. Cafe Hyperion. There are smoking areas, but you don't see in the States anymore. However, a lot of people around here, they just smoke wherever. France is definitely a culture that is more keen on smoking than the US is. So you get a lot of people smoking. They got the smoking areas. Then they have a lot of people just walking around smoking, and no one really says anything. The cast members don't really say anything. In fact, even like, I've noticed the etiquette with like line skipping and things. If you kind of slow down for even a brief second, someone will kind of like sneak in front of you. That's a little more here as well. Also, when I walked in when they were doing the parade, there was a lot of people that were just kind of like on top of pylons or climbing up halfway up the light poles to get better views. And none of the cast members said anything. It wasn't really frowned upon here like it is when you go to the other parks, the US parks. There, if you just try to climb up on anything, you'll be scolded and corrected pretty quickly. But it seems like the rules are a little more lenient here on things, which isn't a bad thing. It's just a different vibe. Videopolis Theater, I'm not sure if they still use it for Videopolis, but man, that place is insane inside. There's just a bunch of seats, like an eating area. Pretty interesting and very, very dated. Very early 90s dated. What the heck? They have a Nautilus here. What? Underneath Space Mountain. That is the Nautilus. Right there. What are they doing with this thing? It's just sitting here. Space Mountain is overlaid for Hyperspace Mountain, but I'm still going to go on it. I think that's the Star Wars themed Hyperspace Mountain. And this has a launch, I think, that goes up into this thing. All right, I'm heading in, going through the Premier line. There's also a single rider line on this, so I guess I could have probably done that too, but utilizing what I did, got paid for it. All right, heading through the queue now. Definitely a different style of queue. I can hear the launch above my head. There it is. Launch area. Kind of like their Discovery, what is it called? Discovery Land, their Tomorrowland. Very steep. It almost looks like it's going to go indoor to outdoor to board for the launch. I can see light over there. And it does indeed. You got the standby over there, and then you got the hyperspace banners. And there is the outdoor loading area, and it launches you indoors. At least that's what I'm assuming by looking at this. Steampunk there on number 7. I'm also noticing that the harnesses they have are kind of like Rock and Roller Coaster, well, Incredicoaster now. So they have the kind of harnesses that pull down over your shoulder. So this thing's a little different ride vehicle. Yeah, very similar to the Incredicoaster ride vehicle. I'm also noticing there are no pouches on this either. No pouches to put your stuff. Hold on to them. Holy crap, that was intense. I was not allowed. They said, no filming on the ride, put the camera away. I said, where am I supposed to put the camera at? They said, just hold it. That was completely different, amazing. That launch, very similar to like Incredicoaster and Rock and Roller Coaster. Mix the combination of them. Then they had the Star Wars overlay. Man, that was good. Yeah, it was kind of funny. He's like, oh, you can't have the camera. They can't put the camera away. I said, where am I supposed to put the camera away? There's no pouches. He goes, oh, just hold it. But I wasn't allowed, I wasn't supposed to film. But so the last one on my pass anyway is Autopia. So I'm gonna do this version of Autopia. Man, that was awesome. That was really good. Oh, watch the launch. There it goes. That was me going up the launch right there. That thing is thrilling. I mean, not just that, but the whole inside. It's definitely different and a little more intense than the Space Mountain I was used to. That was good. All right, just to check off the ones I've done with the pass or the front of the line I got. Indy, they've checked it off for me. Small World, Peter Pan's Flight, Phantom Manor, Big Thunder, Hyperspace, and now it's time for Autopia. There's also Star Tours, but I kind of feel like that's just going to be a copy and paste, so I think I'm going to skip that. I've done Star Tours enough. My last one's going to be Autopia for today. It's been a good first experience and first day at this park. A fly just went by my camera. No numbers on these ones. These are actually a little quieter as well. And Tomorrowland, Raceway, and Autopia. Oh, that's interesting. You take your foot off the gas, it skids into a brake. It actually presses a hard brake. Oh, that's different. You take your foot off the gas at the other places, and it just kind of coasts. This, you take your foot off the gas, and the thing calls to a screeching stop. I really love this theme park. Obviously, I have massive nostalgia for WDW, simply because it's the first Disney park I ever went to, and been a pass holder the longest since 01, and skipped a few years, but bought my first annual pass in 01, 02. Actually, I think I bought my first annual pass in 03, but give or take a year. Been a million times. Disneyland started going in 2015 and been thousands of times. I did not think I was going to love this place as much as my first impression has given me the feels. I thought that guy was going to jump in the way. I stated I will be here a few days, but I could definitely see myself coming back here many times. This seems like the perfect place to come back in the winter, wearing a hoodie, maybe a light coat, maybe a heavy coat. I don't know how cold it gets. I know it snows here. This would be the perfect place in the cold. Quietest Autopia cars I've ever been on. Definitely the quietest. Almost like, doesn't feel like you're in an automobile. Doesn't feel like you're in an Autopia car. Soothing sounds. I'm not sure what these markers are. That says 220. That says 180. And the park in general I've adored so far. Can't say this Autopia is all that great. Keeping along with the relative steampunk vibes through here. I don't know how the food is here either. There's a lot. Oh, it's that. I was having a hard time. Get up and go. Get up and go. Getting up that hill. Again, got a few more days. I'm gonna make the most of it. Originally, I was just gonna be here today and tomorrow, But I extended my trip to the day after that and the day after that. So four total days counting today. Gonna do my best to cover all of it in a timely fashion. Give my take on things. A little traffic black up here, a little bottleneck. I think that was it. I think that was Autopia Paris. Well, that's a little different. There's a cast member at a station there letting everyone know which side to go. The traffic monitor. See, she made this side yellow. Now this side's going to be green. It's a little different. Are all the international parks this good? I mean, holy cow. Very quiet version of Autopia. A mellow Autopia. I mean, they're all really mellow, but this is the mellowest of the three I've been on. Now, this is only going off of my first impression, obviously, and I only did a percentage of what's in there. The park's probably got lots of little nooks and crannies and other attractions and rides that I could do over the next series of days. But my first thoughts is I just love that place so much. Reminds me so much of original Disneyland with a little more room, maybe a little more budget, a little more time and thought behind the creation of it, because original Disneyland was so rushed. Nothing will ever beat Walt's, original vision. That'll always be my number one. And Walt Disney World as a whole, all 4 theme parks, water parks, resorts, I think is the best Disney destination to go to. So best theme park when it comes to Disney, Disneyland. You're never going to top that. Just with the nostalgia, with Walt being there, Walt walking around. That's his original, envisionment. That's always going to be the number one. Nothing's ever going to top that. And then as far as destination goes, from my opinion, WDW will always be the best. As far as all 4 parks, if you're going to go somewhere for like a week or 2 weeks, that would be my recommendation. Would be to go to WDW for a long vacation, if you will. But based on what I experienced in there and what I saw in there, again, just first impression, I think that's a better park than Magic Kingdom is. Don't come at me. Granted, Magic Kingdom has Jungle Cruise, has People Mover, still things like that they don't have in there. But as a whole, I feel if I was just going to go, if I had to choose either park to have more enjoyment at, I think that's a better park than Magic Kingdom. Again, all of the WDW complex, the whole empire of Walt Disney World is far more superior, I think, than if you were to travel here. But park to park, Disneyland number 1, I'm putting this at number 2 above Magic Kingdom. First impression, that might change over the next series of days, but that's my thoughts. And I'm not including Hollywood Studios, I'm not including Epcot, Animal Kingdom, all that. I'm just talking about, the original style, Disneyland style of parks. I mean, Epcot's on a whole other level. And totally different. Alright, that's going to do it for today. Thanks for watching. Man, I had a good time. I'll see you in the next video. The vlog is over.